Welcome to Bleacher Report's NFL Daily. I'm Mitch, and I'm here to break down why all four remaining teams, the two in the NFC Championship, the other two in the AFC Championship, Commanders, Eagles, Bills, and Chiefs, why all four can not only make it to the Super Bowl, but win Super Bowl 59. Hop in the chat. Let me know what you think about my argument for your team. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What points do you agree with? What points do you disagree with? Hop in the chat and let me know. I love the feedback. All right, guys, this is why each team in the Final Four can win the Super Bowl. Let's get started right away. Beginning in the NFC with the team that shocked the world. They shocked everybody, including me. The Washington Commanders went to Detroit, the Motor City, and they pulled off the upset of the weekend. I actually embarrassed myself by having them last in the potential upset rankings. That's my bad, Commanders fans. But nobody believed in you before, so why should they believe in you now, right? And that's reason number one why the Commanders can win the Super Bowl. No one believes in them, and they have more motivation, a bigger chip on their shoulder than any other team. Dan Quinn has this team motivated. Dan Quinn has this team playing hard, and Jayden Daniels is playing outrageous football. These are the cardiac kids, the comeback kids, and they have a ball control offense and an opportunistic defense. Put that together, you can beat any team in the NFL, right? You watch their offense, Jayden Daniels, his ability to control the football, his ability to make the correct decision on each and every play, it's just different for a rookie. You don't see that quite often. His ability not only with his accuracy and placement to put the ball in the right spot, to go to the right place with the ball, and his sync right now with Cliff Kingsbury, who I don't think is getting enough credit for the success of this offense, for his play, Jayden Daniels, and the team in general. His ability to craft a game plan, especially at the start of games, to move the football, matriculate the football, kill the clock, and put the game in the hands of the Commanders and play at their pace and play at their style, right? And that's all on Cliff calling the right plays in the right sequence. And that's all on Jayden Daniels making the right decisions with every play, whether it be a little zone read option, whether it be a quick throw on an RPO, whether it be to keep the ball or throw it away. Daniels has made so many big throws. Man coverage, I'm going deep to Terry McLaurin. That's another reason. Terry McLaurin's probably the best receiver left in the playoffs right now. I know that A.J. Brown is probably considered the better player, but when we've watched these players play from week to week lately, Terry McLaurin's probably the most electric playmaker there is left remaining in the playoffs. So if you have a guy like that that can take over a game, make one or two big explosive plays, you can win the Super Bowl. They have 7 wins straight. This is a hot football team, right? They've gone to Tampa Bay, beat an experienced Super Bowl champion-like Bucs team. They went to Detroit, the number 1 seed. And despite all the injuries on Detroit's side, that's still the number 1 seed in their conference. They beat them down, and it was impressive, okay? They're also incredibly aggressive. They know how they want to play. They have a mentality. They go into it with the same mentality every week, and they go about it with success. 4th down, okay? The Washington Commanders are one of the best teams on 4th down that, quite frankly, I have ever seen, you have ever seen, anyone has ever seen, okay? 4th down aggression. They're 6 for 9 on 4th down so far in the playoffs. The fact that they have won both games and they have gone for 4th downs 9 times is absolutely wild to me. 9 times. Okay, you have the Daniels dimension of extending plays and scrambling. You have a defense that is making opportunistic plays, whether it be in the secondary from Martin, whether it be, the front 7 from Dorrance Armstrong, from the vet Jonathan Allen, from the vet Bobby Wagner, Frankie Louvu. Dan Quinn has his side organized. Cliff Kingsbury has his side organized. And to me, this team is extremely well coached. It's not given enough credit. They know what they are. They know what they need to do to win. They know that they need to cause a turnover. They know they need to get a negative play defensively. They know what they're going to do defensively, right? But then on the other side, they know what they have to do. They have to control the ball, and they have to go for 7. That's what they got to do to upset these teams, and that's exactly what they're doing. In the chat, David says, this is the best football year of my life as a Washington fan. I hope you're right. Hey, brother, I'm not exactly picking you guys to win the Super Bowl, all right? I will say that, but I do think that this team has earned all the respect. They have earned all the respect. I never believed in them in the offseason. I don't think one single human did, other than maybe Commanders fans, all right? But I didn't even believe in them going in the playoffs, to be honest with you. But they have surprised me. They have earned my respect. Jayden Daniels had a great rookie regular season, but he's taken that to the next level. Usually you don't see rookies have this much success in the postseason. So, yeah, let's get to the next team on the list. That is the other NFC team, their opponent, their rival, their NFC East matchup in the NFC Championship. And that is none other than Saquon Barkley and the Philadelphia Eagles. Notice how I didn't say Jalen Hurts, but we'll get to that in a second. But the Eagles can win the Super Bowl because, let's face it, Saquon is unstoppable. I don't care who they play in the Super Bowl, bro. He's going to have 100 yards. It really doesn't matter, right? I don't care. Commanders can put 12 people in the box, right? They're still not going to stop Saquon Barkley. He's still going to have 100 yards. He's unstoppable. And the Eagles' biggest reason they can win the Super Bowl, it has really, truly nothing to do with their quarterback, which is the difference between the Eagles and every other team on this list. Right? When you talk about the Chiefs, when you talk about the Bills, when you talk about the Commanders, when you talk about the other teams in the conference championship rounds, the reason the Eagles can and will win the Super Bowl is because of the line of scrimmage dominance, because of their run game, because of their ability to overpower opponents, their ability to dictate terms on the ground to their opponents, their ability to win the line of scrimmage up front with their offensive line bullying people. And their defensive line is probably the most impressive left in the playoffs as well. And I don't think it's particularly close, guys. They have the best O-line and the best D-line perhaps in the playoffs. I think the Bills O-line gives them a very good, matchup as well, but the D-line, certainly. You talk about Jalen Carter. This guy might be the best D tackle in football already. I don't know if that's outrageous. I don't know if that's a hot take. This guy is a monster. The amount of different plays he can make, penetrating from the inside as a pass rusher, making plays at the line of scrimmage as a run defender, he's absolutely outrageous. You combine him with the Georgia boy on one side, Nolan Smith, who's looking quick, twitchy, getting after quarterbacks, Josh Sweat, still doing his thing as well. And they've got just a great rotation of guys up front that are making plays. Zach Bond's probably the best linebacker left in the playoffs. He's an absolute force, especially in coverage this year, but also making plays as a blitzer, making plays as a run defender. When they have their tandem of corners, right? Quinyon Mitchell left the game last week against the Rams. And that really, really hurt them, in my opinion. Isaiah Rodgers, just throw at him every single time. Yo, bro, Tom Brady would just throw the ball at him every single time. So I'm giving you a tip, Jayden Daniels. Just throw the ball at Isaiah Rodgers if he's on the field. But that being said, if Quinyon Mitchell's on the field, he's the best rookie corner that I've seen this year. He's absolutely sensational. And this defense is for real. So if you can run the ball, if you can possess the ball, if you can have long drives running the ball, and then you sprinkle in, wow, we got super awesome wide receiver on the left, Devontae Smith. We got super even more awesome wide receiver on the right, A.J. Brown. We've got Dallas Goedert, a mismatch at tight end. And then we've got Saquon, home run. He's calling his touchdowns, bro. He's calling his touchdowns. He literally told Jalen Hurts, watch this. I'm going to score a touchdown right now. Right? Roland says defense, run game, best roster in the NFL equals the Eagles. He's rolling with Jalen. Yeah, I agree with you, man. I agree with you in terms of best defense, although they didn't play well against the Rams, my opinion. But second in EPA, first in success rate, first in first downs allowed, first in pass yards allowed, top 2 in yards and points per drive allowed this season. The Eagles defense was the best in the league this year and the best left in the playoffs. I would agree with that. Now, maybe you would give Spags a little bit of an edge in terms of voodoo game plan magic in the Super Bowl, but Vic Fangio knows how to coach too. Run game, yes, best in the playoffs remaining for sure, but the Bills can run it, and I would say the Commanders can run it pretty well too, but the Bills low key can really run it on anybody as well. So I definitely think Jalen Hurts is going to have to step up his game. There's going to have to be, whether it be this week or next week, a game where he has to throw for 250 to 300, maybe not like 350, 400, but he's going to have to throw for 250, 300 in a game, 2 touchdowns. He's going to have to do something through the air. The thing is, we've seen him do it in the Super Bowl before. We've seen him rise to the occasion in the Super Bowl, right? And play a really, really good game against the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes and that defense and Spags defense, as we talk about them. So there is a chance that they're saving that performance for the Super Bowl when they need it the most. But I would just say, they need to be able to be a full all-around team, but they're definitely capable with the weapons that they have, with the all-around team that they have. And this is the best roster. I would agree with rolling with Jalen. Tristan says Jalen Carter is a monster. No other words. He is an absolute monster. Mick Nuggs says Hurts is now just a game manager. Essentially, as long as, and here's the thing, right? What frustrated me about Hurts' game against the Rams was the amount of sacks he took. No, he not only took a terrible safety, but he's got to do a better job of taking sacks. I mean, Sam Darnold, yeah, I expected some sacks from Sam Darnold. That guy is a living, breathing, sack-taking machine. But Jalen Hurts has typically been, sometimes he holds the ball too long, but typically he's good at escaping and throwing the ball away. He needs to do better. He needs to get rid of those negative plays because their drop-back passing game is not built for them to throw on 2nd and 14 and 3rd and 18, right? Like nobody is. So they want to keep on schedule for Saquon. And I just think, those need to go away. Those need to improve. But when you look at the overall team, it's hard to doubt that this team is not the most talented and best, at least in the NFC. And we'll see what happens if they get to the Super Bowl. Don't turn it over either, which is exactly what the team in the AFC that I'm about to talk about does very, very well. The Buffalo Bills. Let's talk about the Buffalo Bills. My pick to win the Super Bowl before the playoffs, probably about midway through the season. Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. Before the playoffs, I had them beating the Eagles. So we'll see if that comes true. So I clearly believe in the Buffalo Bills. I clearly believe they can win the Super Bowl. And part of it is destiny. Part of it really is destiny. Like, it does kind of feel magical. It does kind of feel like it's Buffalo's year. It's the Bills' year. It's Josh Allen's year. As it says in their theme song, Mr. Brightside, destiny is calling me. Destiny is calling Josh Allen. I believe that. Maybe I'm crazy. I think the Bills can win the Super Bowl because I think they have the best offense remaining when it comes to balance. They can run the football with their quarterback. They can run the football with James Cook, Davis, or Ty Johnson at running back. Their O-line is incredibly good at protecting the passer. They can overpower you in power runs, right? They can get under center. They can play from the pistol. They can play from the gun. They can play from ahead. They can play from behind. Josh Allen, my opinion, best quarterback right now in football, playing the best quality of football from the 2024-2025 NFL season. He's a red zone machine. He's a third down machine. He's a absolute Superman on the football field, no matter it be scrambling and extending, throwing the ball from the pocket, or what we've seen the development in Josh Allen's game, which has been the next level. His decision-making has been absurd. Like, just as I said with Jayden Daniels, superb decision-making in terms of always making the right play, right? And that is playoff football. That is winning football. And to be honest, I think that's what's won the Chiefs the Super Bowl the last 2 years. Like Patrick Mahomes last season, he wasn't the best quarterback in the league for the regular season. But when it came to the playoffs, he minimized mistakes and he maximized the plays that were there to be had. And when you're watching the playoffs right now, Jayden Daniels is doing that for the Commanders. Josh Allen is doing that for the Buffalo Bills. Like, if he needs to check it down, he's learned he can check it down. If he needs to run, he can run. If he needs to throw a laser past the ear of a defender, he'll do that too. If he needs to run you over or hurdle you, he'll do that too. So Josh Allen's at the core of this team winning the Super Bowl. He needs to go Superman in the Super Bowl for them to win, or even in the AFC Championship, right? You combine that, though, with the team that turns it over the least, right, and has the third most turnovers caused, okay? Smart, opportunistic defense. They are a very smart, savvy defense with a lot of veterans, guys that have played in McDermott's system for a long time. Their linebacker tandem is one of my favorites to watch, Matt Milano and Bernard. Bernard punching that ball out on Mark Andrews was one of the best playoff plays I've seen. Unbelievable play on Mark Andrews there. Matt Milano tipping the ball on a 2-point conversion, making a difference there. Von Miller, a veteran who's been there, done that, Super Bowl MVP, making a play on the edge, recovering a fumble. They've got deep weaponry on offense. They've got James Cook and those 3 running backs. They've got 2 different tight ends, Dawson Knox and Dalton Kincaid. They've got 4 or 5 receivers, right? They can go at any time to Khalil Shakir, Curtis Samuel. They can go to Mac Hollins. He's a great blocker. They can go to, Amari Cooper or Keon Coleman. They have so many different options they can throw the ball to. So deep weaponry, balanced offense, great quarterback, opportunistic defense, a coach that's been through a lot of battles and has learned and has been absolutely brutalized by Andy Reid. Can he overcome Andy Reid, his mentor, in the AFC Championship? They are actually the first offense ever with 30 passing touchdowns and 30 rushing touchdowns. I learned that yesterday. That's an incredible stat. That is the balance that I'm speaking of. So the Buffalo Bills, I definitely think can win the Super Bowl for sure. You trash, bro. Says, bro, Josh Allen isn't playing better than Jayden Daniels. Josh Allen is playing better than every quarterback in the NFL. Josh Allen is playing unbelievable this year. I mean, from start to finish, I'm talking about Josh Allen as the best quarterback in the league, as the MVP. I think he should win MVP. He's not going to. Lamar is going to win MVP, but this guy on a consistent basis, he just plays like every play is his last. Jayden Daniels, sure, has had to do more in the playoffs. Like, I wouldn't argue that. Jayden Daniels has had to do more in the playoffs, right? But Josh, like, overall as a player, is a better player, in my opinion. Now, we'll see if they face off in the Super Bowl. We'll see how that goes. But don't sleep on the Bills' O-line as a reason why they can win this Super Bowl, because if there is an O-line that can block the Eagles, I would say it's the Bills. Don't mistake if there is a line that can run the ball on the Chiefs, it might be this O-line, right? So don't overlook the O-line as well. That's been such a key ingredient to the evolution of this Bills team, is maybe they don't have the Stephon Diggs, right? But they've got such a better O-line in front of Josh than in years past. The defense is good, man. The defense is good. It's not great, but they're opportunistic. Yes, sir. Destiny is calling us. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. C. Carter says, Commanders and the Bills to the Super Bowl. That would be a lot of fun. That would be very fun. I would look forward to that one. I wouldn't have guessed in a million years the Commanders. You could have given me 28 guesses. I don't think I would have gotten to the Commanders before the season. The Commanders would have been in the Super Bowl. That's crazy. The Bills, though, like, you talk about the Bills too before we get to Kansas City, guys. Like, the Bills, nobody was picking them either. Like, I felt like I was on an island in terms of, like, saying they were kind of underrated or disrespected before the season on TheBottomLineView, my YouTube channel. And everyone in the media was like, this team sucks. They're not better than the Jets. The Jets. They're not better than the Dolphins. The soft Dolphins. That's another thing about Buffalo. They're the toughest Bills team in this era too, right? Like, the Eagles claim that they're tough. They're the physical team, right? The Baltimore Bullies, that's what their identity was. You know, Buffalo's actually been tough. I think a reason they haven't been to the Super Bowl in this era is partly because of their physicality, and I think that has definitely changed. Professor Skill says Commanders all the way through easy work. Okay. I think Commanders easy work against the Eagles. So when it comes to that game, I think the Eagles, I would favor the Eagles. The one thing I want to know is the Eagles at home, right? The Eagles, I thought, kind of took care of the Commanders in the first outing. The second game, they jumped to a huge lead when Jalen Hurts was at quarterback. I want to say it was like 21-7 or something like that. And then when he got hurt, the game completely flipped. Jayden Daniels got a crazy amount of momentum. They came back. Zacchaeus made an incredible play, all that sort of stuff. And the Cardiac Kids continued to survive, right? And continue to do their thing. Can that momentum carry over into this matchup? I will say, though, the difference at quarterback right now is pretty drastic. Like, the way that Jayden Daniels is playing compared to the way Jalen Hurts is playing, like, Hurts is going to have to step it up. That being said, I think the Commanders are really going to have a tough time with the Eagles offensively because they're bad against the run, like outright terrible. They can't stop. They're bottom 3 or 4 in yards per carry, yards before contact. They play a lot of man coverage, which kind of simplifies everything in the back end for Jalen Hurts. And you've got great weapons to beat man coverage on the outside. So I do feel like the Commanders defense, they kind of need to throw some curveballs out there. Dan Quinn's going to have a great game plan for them to advance, I would say. Bills are playing against the Chiefs and the refs in Kansas City. Tough road game, says Craig. Yeah, that's a good transition. The Kansas City Chiefs can obviously win the Super Bowl, not only because we've seen it before, but also because the Chiefs, their biggest fan is the refs. Yes, that is right. That is true. The refs absolutely rigged the game last week against the Houston Texans. Everybody knows it. You and I know it. We watch the same thing. The refs are responsible for the Chiefs dynasty. The refs are responsible for the Chiefs kingdom. I'm just kidding. Kind of. Not really, actually. But the Kansas City Chiefs can win the Super Bowl not only because they seemingly get every call in every big moment, but also because they are clutch on offense and defense. Now, we don't have a stat to prove, the Chiefs are the number one offense. The Chiefs have the number one passing off. The Chiefs are the number one rushing offense. The Chiefs are the number one running defense. The Chiefs are the No. Maybe special teams. They're absurd on special teams. They made the Texans special teams look like a collegiate special teams. It was really bad. Fairbairn seemingly can't make an extra point against the Chiefs in Arrowhead. Arrowhead does have a voodoo magic to it that is hard to discuss, all right? Maybe it's Taylor Swift. I'm not sure. But I do think that the Chiefs are clutch on offense. Why? They know how to convert third downs. They know how to get the big play at the right time, and that comes down to Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes might not have been better this season than Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson, but what we know is he is the best winner in the league. He knows how to win. He knows how to not make the critical mistake, not how to take the bad sack, Jalen Hurts, not how to, throw the ball to the other team at the bad moment, but he knows how to extend a play, make magic happen, and his players around him, like Travis Kelce, playoff Kelce, rises to the occasion in these big moments. He goes for over 100 yards against the Texans. He goes for a touchdown against the Texans. That connection by Mahomes to Kelce, that's exactly what their playoff magic is all about from Mahomes. Stepping up in the pocket, under pressure, throws the ball while being sacked for a touchdown. That is what the Chiefs are in the playoffs. They will make the play when it matters most. On the defensive side, Chris Jones always makes the play when it matters most. Ask the 49ers. In both Super Bowls. Ask the 49ers. Ask Josh Allen last year in the AFC divisional round. Chris Jones will make the play. So they have clutch playmakers on both sides of the ball. They might not be as good on offense as the Bills, as explosive on offense as the Bills. They might not even be better in terms of the opportunistic nature of turnovers as the Bills. But they've got more big game playmakers. Kelsey and Chris Jones. Trent McDuffie can lock you down in the secondary. They have one of the most underrated groups of linebackers in football. George Karlaftis has become a big game player as well. Joe Thuney has stepped it up on the O-line. They've got unsung heroes. The O-line's playing a little bit better. Can they find a little bit of a running game with Kareem Hunt, Isaiah Pacheco? That could be a difference maker, especially against Buffalo. If they can be more physical, if they can run them out of their coverages, if they can run the ball down Buffalo's throat, control the game that way, and not allow Buffalo to win the time of possession, that would be critical in that battle. Now, when it comes to the Chiefs, they were first in offensive plays ran this season per drive. They were first in offensive time of possession per drive. They are a ball control, death by 1,000 paper cuts, death by 3 yards at a time type of offense. That's what they're going to try to do to the Bills. That's what they're going to try to do to the Commanders or the Eagles in the Super Bowl. They're going to move the ball, dink, dunk, diddly dunk. That's what they're going to do. Defensively, they're going to play man. They're going to blitz. They're going to switch it up, cover 2 zones. Spags is going to do whatever it takes. They're going to send their corners. They're going to send their corners. And this is a great game plan team. A reason the Chiefs can win is because they have the most proven, best coaching staff in football. Andy Reid, arguably a top 2-3 coach we've ever seen in the history of football. Steve Spagnuolo, one of the best defensive coordinators we've ever seen in the history of football. And the thing about Spags is he always seemingly calls the right play at the right time. He always does. He always calls the right blitz at the right time, the right coverage at the right time. He always puts a player in position to make the play at the right time. And experience is obviously in the Chiefs' favor. Buffalo definitely has experience. Buffalo won't be scared of the Chiefs at Arrowhead even. But in a Super Bowl, even against the Eagles, they would have considerable experience advantage. Considerable clutch advantage. All right? Kelsey finally showed up after my fantasy playoffs were over, says Craig. That's how he does it. You should have known, bro. He doesn't show up until the playoffs. He's too old for the regular season, man. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. You think he cares? Come on. Ben says, we're going to win 3 in a row. For sure. We'll see. I picked the Bills. I'm picking the Bills. I don't care, Ben. You can comment right now, bro. I don't care. I'm picking the Bills. It's their year. Destiny is calling them. But at the same time, I can't say that the Chiefs can't win. The Chiefs absolutely can win. The Chiefs are favored. The Chiefs are at home. The Chiefs have the refs. They can win. Okay? And I will throw this in here as well. The Chiefs have the best kicker left, in my opinion. They have the best kicker left. That makes a difference from a Patriots fan. Adam Vinatieri made a difference. Harrison Butker makes a difference too, because last time the Bills played the Chiefs, Bass missed wide right. Just saying. Snow helped the Eagles. Yes, to a certain degree, but I would argue that the Rams threw the ball in the snow way better than the Eagles did. Stafford had over 300 yards. He actually was throwing the ball really well in the snow. And something about the snow is if you can, it actually slows down the pass rush. And the corners, it makes them more hesitant because you know where you're going and they don't know where you're going. So if you can have good timing and you can find a way to throw that ball through the snow with good arm strength like Stafford has, you can actually be productive in that asset. So to me, kind of. Not really. Kind of. That is it, guys. Make sure that you tune in tomorrow for another NFL Daily with me. That's right. I'll be back tomorrow, Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. It's Mitch. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.